Everybody, welcome back to the channel. This month in the garage we have a 2004 Nissan 350Z. This car is actually owned by a friend of mine. She bought it new in 2004, but unfortunately for the past 22 odd years or so, she's lived in a brownstone community and they don't have garages. So unfortunately since then, this car sits out a lot during the winter months. So this isn't her daily. She does have another car, and it is taken to the dealer on a regular basis to get all the maintenance and service issues taken care of, which is why it's in really good shape, considering it's 17 years old. This car only has 52,000 miles on it, and there's nothing really wrong mechanically with the drivetrain or the suspension. But after all those years sitting outside in the winter months, in the rain and in the sun, nature's taken its toll. A lot of the trees and the crap that's in the trees and in the air gets caught in the water channels and the door jams, and the acid from the rain has really taken a beating on the paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to take care of the paint, we're going to get the shine back, and take care of the maintenance issues. Nothing really pressing, nothing really serious, just a lot of normal everyday wear items. So if you take on a project like this for a friend or family or for a customer, you need to get a game plan together. Perfect example right over here. This is Addie's Jeep. She's my 15-year-old neighbor, and I got with her dad and we came up with a game plan, and that was reliable and safe. So obviously it doesn't look like a lot right now, but we went through everything. Starts as soon as you turn the key, runs and drives perfect. Everything works as far as the drivetrain, the four-wheel drive, the transmission, brakes, blinkers, lights, wipers, everything. So it's reliable and it's safe. I told Keith what he needed to do. He said, go ahead and do it. I bought the parts. We got it done. He asked me what he owed me. I told him, and he paid me, and it was a done deal. So, but the difference is we got like 500 bucks into this Jeep. We're waiting on bumpers and flares and a top, and we're going to be done. The Nissan, on the other hand, you know, this is somebody's car that lives 900 miles away from me. So I'm definitely going to use all Nissan parts, and I needed to make a list of things that needed to be done, and I needed to call my friend and let her know this is what we're going to do, and this is how much it's going to cost. So again, regular maintenance items, but there are two big ticket items. One of them is the top. She's actually, I think, had 2 tops on this car already. It needs another top. It's torn. So we've agreed that I'm going to go ahead and get that done here in Southern Illinois. So I have to source out some upholstery shops and get some pricing and make sure that she's satisfied with the material and the color. It's actually a dark navy blue canvas. I thought it was black. And this is the first time I've seen the car, you know, and I've known her pretty much for 30 years. So the other item is the front fascia. Somebody backed into it. It's cracked. My friend does plan on keeping this car for a very long time. So I'm going to buy a new front fascia. And after I figured out how much it was going to cost me in paint materials to paint it, I found out that my friend's body shop could get it done cheaper. Basically because they already have the paint, they own the paint. All they gotta do is mix it. I'd have to go buy the paint, buy the clear, and do all that myself. So it's actually the auto body shop in Edwardsville, Illinois, off Goshen Road. They're the same guys that I take the Hondas to whenever there's any issues or a collision. They're the same place that I had paint Max's front and rear fascia on the Cadillac, if you've seen those videos. So they're great guys, car guys, and I'm going to have them do that. But basically we have some regular wear items. We got a broken door handle here, which we'll get into a little bit more in-depth video on that. I got a radio antenna that needs to be fixed. And I mentioned earlier, she does take this to the dealer to get everything done. Unfortunately, sometimes by doing that, in an attempt for their mechanics to get cars in and out, because, you know, time is money and volume is income. There's a lot of areas under the hood that have plastic covers that cover everything. There's a cover for the battery, there's a cover for the brake booster, there's some decorative covers that cover things. There's a lot of push pins missing. Probably broken, maybe misplaced, and in an attempt to get the car in and out in a relatively easy time, a relatively short amount of time because of everything's based on a flat rate, fasteners go missing. I had the car up in the air. There's a big splash pan under the engine. I noticed that the oil pan was leaking, and I'm going to take care of that. And while I was looking at how the splash pan comes off, I noticed that a lot of the pins are missing, and there's some anchor points where bolts go that are gone, literally broken off. So I got to take care of that. And she had a new set of Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. These are the same tires I had on my '69 Extreme Ray, and that my son has on his Cadillac on the V rims. So these are directional tires, and they got 3 of them right, and this one's wrong. It says right down here, face towards inside, and it's wrong. So I got to get this taken off. I got to get that tire remounted, flip back around, and that should be okay. One of the other problems that she was telling me about is that the top didn't work. Now this is an electronic top. It's pretty complex. If you know anything about Corvettes and how those tops work, it's fairly similar. It's just electric and not mechanical. And when I say mechanical, I'm talking about C2s and C3s. The deck comes up, the top comes up, the rear part of the top folds up so the deck can go down, and then it goes down, and then you latch the front. The problem she was having is that it wouldn't go down all the way. And what I have found out, luckily, is it's nothing in the top mechanism, it's the switch, the up-down switch. If you hold it up, it will work and stop. If you hold it down, it will work and stop. But if you manipulate it and play with that switch and keep clicking it a little bit at a time, eventually you can get it all the way down like it is now and all the way up. I've left it down because I need to get into the interior and do some serious cleaning and some detailing, and it's a lot easier when you're not banging your head on stuff. So, very cool car. Really excited to get stuff going on it. I have already worked the paint a little bit. I did clean it up. I'll show you that in some side photos as I talk about this. I got the car cleaned up. I got the door jambs cleaned. I got the trunk jam cleaned. I got under the deck lid. I did under the hood. Made sure that I put plastic over the motor and over the trunk and over the well. And it was a lot easier. I used parts cleaning brushes to get in there with Meguiar's car washing detergent to get everything out of there. And they turned out really, really well. I don't know if... So as you can see, I mean, it turned out beautiful. Really, really nice. This cover on the other side, which this rubber cover that covers the door light switch, this is actually one of the things that I noticed is torn on the other side because that other door is probably opened a million times compared to this one, which is not. So I'm just making a list of everything that I can find, and we'll get going. So I did the clay bar on the car as well. I used Meguiar's clay bar with their spray wax. And the bar took up a lot of surface area contaminants that were on here. So again, you know, normally she has this covered in the wintertime. I think the last year it was uncovered the whole time. But 17 years of sun and rain, you can see where the clear coat has been pitted by the acidics in the water from the rain in the city and in the industrialized area with all of the smog and auto exhaust that's around there on a regular basis. But the shine came back. It's not a perfectly smooth clear coat per se, but the shine came back. I had talked to her about taking it to a paint restoration place where they use 5, 6, 7, 8,000 grit sandpaper, and they go over the whole car, sand it down, and rebuff it. And that's a great idea. But what I suggested was that, you know, she's planning on retirement in maybe 3 to 5 years, which is going to include a move from that area where she's at. And I suggested that maybe we just go ahead and get it cleaned up and just buffed out traditionally. And when she moves and finds another place with a garage where the car can sit inside all the time, to do it then, because you know you only have so much clear coat, and if you do it once and then you do it again, you're just going to keep cutting away, cutting away, cutting away. So I think we're just going to do that. We're going to cleaned up, buffed out. I'm going to wait on the buff until I get the rest of the mechanicals sorted out, and then we'll go ahead and do the paint and get it back to her. So I am going to keep it for the winter. She'll probably come back maybe in April to get it. The only other issue that I've had is she's told me she just goes through batteries like I go through rear tires, and that's a problem. So there's some sort of parasitic drain on the car. I did the test. Actually, the drain was so high it was pegging my meter. So I used a test light, and I found the problem, but I haven't found a solution. So the problem is in the radio circuit. When I pull the radio circuit fuse out of the block, the drain stops and we're good. I just don't know what in the radio circuit is causing the drain. Might be a relay, might be something in the radio, might be something in the amps. I haven't done that research yet, but it's going to be a fun project. I'm excited to get on it, and it's really cool to drive. I mean, I'm a Corvette guy, obviously. And so is Rex, who's behind the camera, but it's really cool. We drove back together. It was 12 hours. I drove 6 of it in pounding rain at 85 miles an hour with cruise control on, and I was not worried ever that it was going to get loose. So really, really fun car to drive, and I know she's excited to get it back with everything fixed and working. So stay tuned, and we'll go through some of the mechanical issues as we progress through this series, and I'll go ahead and post them as I get them done. So stay tuned. Don't forget, over here we have all the Jeep parts. We've got a Hemi swap coming on Rex's Jeep in the spring, and that will be after I get the Nissan done. So keep looking, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.